Any of you guys use Facebook still? I know I do. I'm a proud millennial and I love going on Facebook groups just to see all the chaos that ensues, even in our small bubble of painting and decorating. And today I want to show you some hilarious photos I saw on a painting contractor group. My goal with this video is to laugh with these people, not at them. Hopefully we can all have a bit of a chuckle. And some of these I'm not even sure if they're like real or satirical. Anyway, the first one is, I primed these cabinets with cover stain and then painted semi-gloss on top of that. That little hinge where it's metal, can that piece of metal be touched up and adhere with a metal paint? Or is it going to peel always? Tell me, to paint or not to paint? Now, this is something you see a lot, right? Just, you show up to a job, hardware's been painted, what do? Never paint hardware. You need to strip as much paint as you can, remove that hardware carefully, clean it as best as you can, and then reinstall it, because this is never going to look good. Even if you use a direct-to-metal paint or you go with sticks and you prime it properly and you cover it, it's a moving piece. This does happen. I've seen it many times, especially with older homes where people have just painted over and over and over and over again. But on that note, this is a funny one. Customer won't even notice. I mean, when I looked quickly, I thought it was fine too, until I realized, oh yeah, good old Sharpie. Now here's one that's close to my heart. What name of these colors? A couple of my favorite responses: pink, pink, lime green, green. The name of these colors is won't cover in 2 coats. Classic. Gross 1, 2, 3, 4. And then my personal favorite, for f***'s sake. So number 1, poor person, trying to get these colors matched. I'm assuming that's why they're asking for identification, because maybe they want to repaint. Even if you took high resolution photos, which these aren't, it's impossible to completely identify a color just based on a photo. There are so many variables when it comes to paint colors, how they interact with light. The light settings on your camera can completely change things, and even the monitor you're viewing colors on can just completely alter your perception of color. The best they can do is ballpark, but even then, it's probably not going to work out very well. What I always recommend is take a paint sample physically to your local paint store if you can. Fillet the wall like a fish. Just get a nice chunk, as big as you can, ideally bigger than a toonie, which is a big coin in Canada. Bigger the better, and get it color matched. Let's switch gears to a more positive note. Lots of respect for this type of work. A painter's dream. Oh man. Painters, if you're watching, going into a house like this, what a treat, eh? Just like, look at that. I'm not the best plaster person, to be fair, and seeing this is just chef's kiss. Because oftentimes as painters, we're the last line of defense, and we're often left to clean up other people's messes. And that includes a lot of sanding and replastering, which leads me to Picture Perfect Painting's response. Here's the type of stuff I show up to. Now imagine if we just did our job and just repainted over this. Not cute. Someone posted this picture and said, what happened here? If you've ever had paint peel off like this, you know it is such a pain to deal with, because it's not like you can just peel off what you can and then paint over, because you will see that texture. It is notoriously hard to fix. And normally the problem is your classic case of oil and water not mixing. When you put a simple latex paint over an oil finish, it will not adhere, it will not bond, it will then peel off. Depending on the region, a lot of people will still try and gravitate towards using oil paint. Not so much anymore, but it can still happen. The best way to test it out is get some nail polish remover with acetone and just try and wipe it off with a little swab of cotton. And if the paint comes off, it's latex. If it doesn't, it's oil. And then you really want to prime it properly with something that'll adhere to oil. Start fresh, and then you can go ahead and put your latex on top. From Decorators Forum UK, a brilliant hide or cheap and tacky? I actually kind of like this. Sure, it's a bit camp, but you know what? That wallpaper is too, so you're kind of leaning into it. But no, I do think it's fun. They could have color matched that red on the wallpaper a little bit better. It's a bit too orange in the paint. The only thing is, it might be kind of hard to find the light switch, because it just camouflages so beautifully. I mean, this could be an option. I think it's cute. And then my favorite comment on this entire group: when doing an interior estimate, how do you tell if the trim is white or off-white? And Brandon says, I usually start by looking at it. And there you go. Those were some fun painting contractor Facebook posts that I really enjoy. Here's another video right over here.